welcome to another episode of Popcorn Heroes.
Yeah.
Hey.
I am your host, Orlando. With me, as always, Mike.
I'll try to think of a new tag, but I can't come up with one, so I'll stick to A.
A. The bearded dragon, Pedro.
Hello.
All right, guys, and today we are reviewing Birds of Prey.
And the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Didn't the name change?
So supposedly,
only for theaters.
Theaters were changing the name to Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey, yeah.
To like gain more like traction in terms of like
The name was pretty
viewership.
ridiculous.
Yeah, but the official name is still the same. It's just It's just for the sake of people. They're like, oh, where's the Harley Quinn movie? I don't see it, and then they leave.
Right, exactly.
That's why. Because it just pops up as Birds of Prey on the thing. So
that is true. That is actually smart for them.
they should have done that from the beginning, but I guess they got so shocked by the number that. But judging by the movie, the title should have been different anyways, but we can get to that when we get into it.
All right. And guys, like always, we're going to do our quick synopsis. Then we're going to jump into our spoiler-free thoughts. And then we're going to jump into our spoilers. And as always, our synopsis guy is Pedro.
Yo.
Take it away.
All right, so normally I would say you got to watch Suicide Squad before this because this is technically right after. But you know what? You really don't have to.
Yeah, you do.
No, you
Will
don't.
Smith is in it. Get the fuck out of here.
Only watch it if you like Will Smith. Everything
Which is
else.
everybody in America.
Well, yeah, you're kind of right. I like Will Smith. I just don't like Will Smith movies that much. his later ones.
Excuse you. Bad Boys 3, you liked it.
Yeah, it was all right. It was decent. It was decent.
Movie of the year.
But Suicide Squad was not good. Anyways, so this follows only Harley Quinn in the aftermath of Suicide Squad and her finally breaking up with Joker. And now that she doesn't have the protection of Joker, all the gangsters and everyone is after her. So it's essentially her on the run, and all this other stuff comes into play, including these useless characters called the Birds of Prey. That about wraps up the summary. Oh, and Black Mask is in it, who's Ewan McGregor.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump into our spoilers. Mike, 1 out of 5. What'd you think?
I'll give it a 4.
Oh, shit. Doesn't he know Will Smith in there? You sure?
Yeah, even without Will Smith. I thought I was going to take a hit without Will Smith. But I think Margot Robbie really does a way better job in this one at being Harley Quinn. What's that guy's name? Ewan McGregor? He was pretty good as Black Mask. The title of the movie is misleading, but it's still overall an enjoyable movie. This is probably my favorite version of Harley Quinn now.
Over the animated?
Over the animated.
Ooh,
this one.
That's a bold
she
statement.
Just does certain things in this movie that to me puts her over the top. Some of the, I guess, Birds of Prey were kind of but I thought overall the movie was pretty enjoyable overall. I didn't like, well, I guess we'll get into spoilers, but yeah, overall it was enjoyable.
Cool.
All right, good. Pedro, what'd you think?
I give it a 3.
3?
Yeah. I was going to go a little lower, but I think a 3 is fine because I actually did like it. I enjoyed the first half more because it was more Harley, and I do agree with you. This is the best that there's only another one, but I didn't like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad, but I really liked her in this one. And I don't know if it was really just the writing, like her dialogue, or just that she just had more screen time, so she felt more fleshed out. But I do agree with you. I really enjoyed her in this movie, especially since I didn't like her in the first one, so it surprised the shit out of me. But yeah, honestly, the movie should have just been mostly about her and whatever the plot line was, which we'll talk about a little later. But I did like Ewan McGregor as Black Mask. I didn't like his henchmen. I didn't like Zaz. A lot of the side characters, the Birds of Prey themselves, they were practically useless. Yeah. The movie really should have just been called Harley Quinn and remove the Birds of Prey altogether, and then maybe add the Birds of Prey in a sequel or something, or just a hint. But like I said, overall, the first half when it was more about Harley, I really enjoyed it. Once they started bringing in the birds in it, I just felt there wasn't a point to it, and it was too little, too late. And the last act to me was kind of the worst part because it just felt kind of thrown together. It didn't really make sense, and I can tell. I mean, I heard what the original plot was about, and then they changed it afterwards, and you can tell they changed it because some things didn't really add up. So we could talk about that when we get into spoilers. But overall, it was I did enjoy it. I just didn't really like it. So, but it is worth a watch. I feel definitely more so than Suicide Squad.
It was better than the first one.
So
Yeah, for sure.
So 3 it is. Agreed. It is better than the first.
I'll give it a 3. I liked it.
Hey.
I couldn't put my finger on it, and maybe it's the supporting cast of that makes up Birds of Prey.
I think so.
That was like a bit lacking in my opinion, but my initial impression that I couldn't nail was there's something missing here, and I didn't know what it was. I think Harley did a good job though. I think Black Mask was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, he got plenty of screen time. I like.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor should
really good villain.
he should do more villain roles because he was the perfect mixture of like cynical, insane, like
Kind of what you wanted from Joker in the
and
last
neurotic.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like flamboyant yet scary,
Yeah.
reserved.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was an interesting mix because he went all over the place. I liked it.
It was really good. It was it was not like Joker-esque, that kind of acting wise, but it was very just very stylish the way he did it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like the cast that made the remainder Birds of Prey, I felt like they were a bit
Wasted.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When they finally all get together, it doesn't feel like a natural thing. It feels like they're just
Thrown together
thrown together.
for the sake of the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the action scenes were actually pretty good.
Forgot to mention
Way
that,
better than the first
Yeah,
one.
way better.
Way better.
Really fun. It was kind of like, it reminded me of like how I think about Uncharted games, of like how we have this idea for this action scene. How do we get the character from point A to point B to make this action scene?
Which is what part 3 was all about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially was built that way. Mhm.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I feel like this kind of was like that. Like, oh, let's have her shoot like glitter out of a gun. Okay, how do we make her do that? Like, oh, let's have her like beat people with a bat.
Yeah, let's have a fight with sprinklers.
Yeah, like how do we do that? Like, okay, let's have a scene where like they're going crazy and they're gonna
Yeah, you're pretty much saying they built the set pieces and they're like, all right, we need to come up with something.
yeah.
To get
So
to
I
there.
felt it was like that. And for the most part,
I agree with that.
for the most part, I think they nailed it. Of like getting there. I just think the supporting cast was kind of wasted. I did like some of the visual effects that were kind of minor. Like
Like what?
There was some.
I mean, that's not too spoilerish.
there was just some things where like it would like highlight a character's name. And
Oh, that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The motion graphics they would use for,
Yeah.
But
for
they did that
different...
in the first one too.
They did.
they did, but in Suicide Squad it was very like a lot. In Suicide Squad, they would have like
And they didn't follow through with it on the second half. But in this one, it was pretty consistent, I think.
And Suicide Squad, it was like this character, that shot, and it was like 20,000 things that you couldn't see because it was such a
Yeah.
small
so
text.
good.
And after that amazing intro, the movie fell apart for me.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
So they kind of did the same thing here with this. They'll introduce your character. They'll have like a quick zoom in and
It was
then
more
some
consistent.
traits, but it was colorful. It popped. You were able to read it. Like it was an improvement overall from what Suicide Squad did. So yeah, just good movie. Just didn't really knock out the park for me.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so let's jump into spoilers.
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 All right. Now we're getting to... Well, this isn't really a spoiler, but you know how you were saying that the action scenes were better? I was reading that because they were having trouble behind the scenes, they brought in the choreographer of the John Wick movies to spice up the action scenes. And after watching some of those scenes, especially the one where she's fighting in the sprinklers, or
Yeah.
even the one where she's in like that warehouse section right after, I can easily see...
Oh, the warehouse.
The warehouse one was
Absolutely.
good. I could see that. As soon as I read that after the movie was over, I'm like, yep, that's why I like those action scenes the best. Because I can definitely tell it's the John Wick person. Oh, and the one that she breaks his knees and he's on the wheelchair and he gets hit at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is like a reoccurring like henchman actor that he was in John Wick. He was in The Matrix and
Oh, really?
Atomic Blonde. So he's always with that guy. And yeah, he's. I think he's also part of the choreography team, but he's
Gotcha.
definitely. So when I saw him there, I'm like, oh, he's gonna have an action scene, and then she just snaps his legs. I'm like, oh, I guess not, but maybe he's part of like the
Yeah, ongoing,
choreograph
yeah.
rather than actually being in it. But
I didn't know that.
yeah, that's what made me think. I'm like, oh, I wonder if this has something to do with John Wick, and yeah, it technically does. The second choreography guy they brought in afterwards.
Thank God.
So the original plot for this movie, I don't know if you guys heard, the diamond, instead of it having the code for like a safe
Yeah.
for the family fortune, originally it was supposed to be Black Mask's dick pics. inside of it, and that's why he wanted it so bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Could they get away with that in the movie?
I don't know how they were gonna do it, but I guess the joke didn't for when they premiered it for some people early on. I guess the joke fell flat. Like people didn't think it was that funny. In theory,
I thought it was that funny.
Not me either.
I don't know. In theory, I think it does sound funny if you do it the right way, but something tells me that judging by the humor in this movie, they didn't do it right, and people were kind of just like, "Oh, this is just weird."
It
So-
sounds weird.
Yeah.
So they threw in the whole Bertinelli family thing, and this is where I think the plot fell apart because they introduced the diamond to be part of that family, Huntress's family, and the whole thing she's trying to get vengeance for the people that killed her family. And as soon as she kills Zaz, they're like, "Oh, you got to go after Black Mask or whatever." She doesn't really care. She doesn't care about the diamond that has to do with her family fortune. She just totally fell off the plot completely. When really
she didn't want money.
she should have been the one that had to kill Black Mask though. If Black Mask did the order, she just totally lost interest after killing Zaz.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you can tell this was a plot change that they did early on, and they just didn't fix anything at the end because it was already too
I didn't
late.
pick up on that.
Yeah.
But
So when I saw that, I'm like, yeah, you can tell something was off here.
Kind of, but I mean
little bit of editing.
that plot wise was towards the end. Like Zaz is literally like a third.
But she
the
didn't care
third
about
Har-
she didn't care about going after because remember, she's the one that's on the motorcycle that gives Harley the boost
Yeah.
to
Right.
get to Black Mask. She could have just gone over there and fucking put a bullet in his head.
And it was
Or-
Montoya at the end that says,
Yeah.
"Hey, Black Mask, the one that orchestrated it. Don't you want to kill him too?"
Yeah, exactly. And then
She was like,
maybe she
got everybody.
yeah, I'm like, what? That must have been something you added after the fact.
Yeah.
And you just didn't like got lazy about putting two together.
I can see that.
But I felt Huntress should have gotten more into play on the last
yeah,
act.
I can see that. I just think that like since it was the last act, the last like 15 minutes.
Right.
It wasn't a plot hole that extended throughout the whole movie. You know?
No. But I felt that the birds. So I think the biggest mistake with this movie is either make it all about
Montoya?
Harley.
Oh.
Well, yeah, that too. But here's where I'm getting with it. Either give them all equal screen time so that they can all be compelling characters, because Montoya was useless, Black Canary was useless. The only one that kind of did something was Huntress, and she didn't come till like the second half,
Yeah.
and that was
She's
it.
probably
And-
the one I like the most.
Right.
Actually, I like Cassandra too.
yeah.
I
So
just don't like the fact that we
They-
won't
they-
see the movie Cassandra Cain.
yeah, I hate the fact that they called her Cassandra. They could have gotten any other name.
Any other name, but they had to make her Cassandra Cain.
Yeah, but I felt the movie should either have been about only Harley and Cassandra against everyone else,
Yeah. Yes, I think it would have been better like that.
or make them all equally about the birds, and then you don't need to know too much about Harley because you already know her from Suicide Squad. So it's either one or the other. But the fact that it was all about Harley, and then the last half is about the birds kind of tacking them onto the plot, to me that didn't work for me. So it was one or the other. So
Yeah.
Orlando, do you know who Cassandra Cain is?
I know she's a bad girl.
Yeah,
Right?
she's Batgirl. She's
Probably the
Batgirl.
best bad girl.
Yeah, she was raised by League of Assassins. Didn't learn how to speak, only how to fight. So she's like a badass
Fighting is
mute,
like her language.
all scarred
Oh.
up and everything. So,
But this isn't her though. Then
but it's her name.
It is her.
So it's very bizarre that they turned a mute, badass martial artist into a fast talking kid that is a pickpocket, and you're just like, how did they think this was cool?
Right?
When you could have done a totally original character.
do you think they did that because like they wanted like?
Make her Barbara. Make her anybody else but Cassandra. Jesus.
You think they did that because like? This,
Damn, Barbara would have been pretty good because you could have her hacking somewhere in the middle of the
Yeah.
movie. Damn, Barbara would have been a good one.
But not Cassandra.
Because then she would have still, because Barbara Gordon Oracle is the leader of Birds of Prey, so
Yeah.
it felt out of place that she wasn't there. Damn, that would have been perfect.
Also,
Look at you. You could have helped write a better
Fixed
movie.
it.
Writer.
You fixed
I could be
it.
a writer.
Well, you fixed part of it, but there's still a few
Nah,
other
that's too
things.
much to fix.
There's still a few other things.
Do you think they added the Cassandra Cain thing for like obviously for like the comic book lovers, but
Fan
to like
service?
maybe like fan service? Obviously, it was
I
fan
think so.
service, but
Yeah, clearly it was like a wink and nod to, this is Cassandra Cain, but not really. I didn't understand what they accomplished out of using her name.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Except-
Because I like the character. I just don't like that you combined those two. I didn't like that.
I do like the character in the movie.
I did like I was listening to a podcast and they were saying that like I like how Joker wasn't in it.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't like it.
I
Well,
did-
because you guys didn't like that Joker.
I did like
I like
it.
the Joker.
And
I think that Joker needed more screen time. He didn't have his
Yeah.
moment to shine.
and he never went out, but
Never will, right?
yeah,
Because now he's
Never.
Morbius.
not even just that.
He just, even if he wasn't more,
he became a bitch and complained too much. Like
Yeah.
you just can't.
Yeah.
You know, bite the
It
hand that
should have
feeds
been
you.
more me. Blah 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 blah
Yeah,
blah.
like-
Yeah, it was doing too much.
Yeah, like, all right,
Yeah, they filmed the whole movie's worth of me, and I got 5 minutes. Well, yeah,
shit happens.
yeah. They
That's
fucked
the
up.
movie business.
I get it, but whatever.
I think if he would have been, I think they would have done a better job with him. This
I think
time.
so. I think
Because they did a better job with like Harley.
with
yeah,
her. Mhm.
I think the writing would have been better, and
Agreed.
he would have been more fleshed out. But it is what it is, and it's interesting because like, yeah, this is a superhero movie or anti-superhero movie, but this is a breakup movie, you know. And like, it's interesting in the sense because most breakup movies have the male protagonist.
Right, so it's kind of weird.
It's actually like I thought it was kind of refreshing in that sense of like usually you have a moment where like the woman like has to like be confronted by like her ex-boyfriend, and then like the climax is like her like, no, I'm better without you.
Yeah.
And that's usually where the movie ends, and then the girls go out to like drink or something or party or celebrate.
So they pretty much did that, but without him.
They did that without him, like, and it was kind of it's refreshing thing of like not having to use the same trope of like
Yeah.
the ex-boyfriend used to show up and like beg for her forgiveness, and then she's like,
I can see
no,
that.
I don't need you. So like I thought it was kind of refreshing to having that like moment for her to shine without bringing
Yeah.
the Joker into this.
Yeah.
Because the Joker, regardless of whenever he would come in, he will outshine her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
'cause just by being the Joker, especially coming off a
just
Joker
maybe, yeah,
movie.
exactly. And so it's good that like she has the whole movie to shine.
Yeah. I do agree he wasn't needed.
Yeah.
But I've been watching the animated series of Harley Quinn now, the rated R one that they've been promoting. I don't know if you've seen any episodes
haven't
for it.
seen that.
It's actually really good. The first episode starts off a little slow, but after that, it's like awesome. It's like an Adult Swim level cartoon. But pretty much the gist of that one is her trying. It's essentially what the movie was: her trying to get along, and everyone's like, "Whoa, you're not with Joker anymore." Like, so she doesn't get the respect, she doesn't get the henchmen, nothing. But it's her competing with him, which is kind of cool. So she'll do a heist, and then Joker comes in the middle of the heist, and they're both trying to out heist each other. So,
That sounds pretty good.
yeah, so I kind of thought as I'm watching the episodes, I'm like, damn, the movie would have been kind of cool if it was like this too.
See,
like
so
more
it
of
would've
a
been better with him in it.
so not necessarily as a breakup, but more as like the breakup's over. It was just more of like a rivalry, like I am me without you,
Yeah,
kind of
I
thing.
can still do this.
Yeah, so that would have been a cool route as well. Obviously, it was impossible with Jared Leto, but
You think it's better than the movie Harley? That Harley?
what?
In the animated, in the new animated.
Oh no, I don't think. Well, okay, so she's the best. I was gonna say the best live action, but I mean it's just competing against yourself.
Yeah.
which we both agreed on. But nah, to me, still my hashtag Harley will always be
Animated series.
animated series. But
Like this one-
it's more of like nostalgia or whatever. But I think I think this one did a really good job of
They
it.
did like a perfect job of blending like crazy
Yeah.
and the
did-
psychiatrist.
They did a good job,
Harley.
and they did a good job of referencing a few things that she went through, like the roller derby look that she had for a while, and then she lost the hammer and got the baseball bat. Like
Yeah.
it kind of went through the different versions of Harley that she's going through right now. So it was kind of cool because
Yeah.
they're essentially turning Harley into Deadpool, or they did already.
They did. Well, at least with this movie, they
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
They for
She
sure
is
did.
Deadpool. And then
That
this
version.
movie really hammered it in but that is her look now in the comics. If you ever read any of Harley comics now, it's all her breaking the fourth wall, having absolutely wacky ass characters that'll probably just die
Also,
anyways.
she's Deadpool in the comics too.
Yeah, she is. She's completely. You haven't read a Harley comic in a while?
No.
Yeah,
Ever.
She
Not
she,
in a
she,
while.
she has her own crazy crew of like Z-list heroes, and it's just funny because of how stupid they are, and it's very Deadpool esque.
That's nice.
How did you guys feel about Mr. Zaz?
I was about to talk about him. Yeah,
Oh.
I thought he was actually did really well.
I thought it was pretty good. I don't know why you didn't like him.
Wasted.
Nah, I like him. I like his
he
little
was there in-
rivalry with Harley.
He was there enough where like
So do you think Zaz and Black Mask were like lovers? That's a vibe I was getting.
I don't think they were lovers. I thought he was in love with Black Mask.
Yeah, I think he was like maybe in love with him, but like not and like
Right, necessarily they did something, but kind of like, yeah.
nah, kind of like
I don't think Zaz needed anybody. I mean, I don't think Black Mask
needed anybody. Yeah, because he wasn't really into anyone.
He's just
Even
a
his little
narcissist.
bird.
Yeah,
He's just a narcissist with his own thing. That's true.
yeah,
He just
doesn't need
uses
it.
people.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Man, I really like that version of Black Mask. I liked it a lot.
love that version of Black
Because I've
Mask.
seen the comics can never figure out how they want Black Mask to be. So I remember in No Man's Land, he was like a fucking weird zombie looking dude, and then they have him extravagant. And
So what's the story like? Because I know Black Mask, his face is all black. Like, is he like chemical burn or something, or he actually
Some
wears
shit,
a
the
mask?
gets
there's multiple versions, but the original one was the mask gets like stuck to his face.
yeah.
And it's like a family curse or some shit.
There's always some version of the mask getting sent.
and
I was
there
waiting for that to happen in the movie, actually.
Yeah.
Like it being burned or some shit.
Which is kind of funny. So when he had the mask on, it was almost like a leather daddy type mask, like almost like the Gimp from Pulp Fiction. So I think originally they were going to hammer in more the fact that he was like flamboyantly gay. But I think during the cut, whenever they redid stuff, they just like got rid of that and they just still kept his over the topness. Because I remember that was one of the big things. They're like, oh, he's super gay and his dick pics are in a diamond. That was like the biggest thing for the plots. Really? Yeah. Oh. And then they were like, nah, let's not hammer it in that he's gay and let's remove the dick pics.
I mean, that makes sense. It could be, and especially in this current climate.
I do feel it worked out for the better. Because I really enjoyed his character. And I got the undertones that obviously he's like flamboyantly gay, but whatever. He's just super. He was just so fucking
I don't think it matters, really, because he doesn't really pick.
Now it's a 3.
He doesn't really pick a love interest. So I don't really think it matters where he decides to go. But it wouldn't really change the movie if he was with Zaz or whatever.
No,
but
not at all.
The fact that
if anything, it makes me realize more that he really doesn't need anyone.
Right, that's how I took it. I took it like he's flamboyant because he's just flamboyant, but
yeah, he's a club owner. And all.
Yeah, exactly.
He likes nice random shit in this place that he's explaining to this girl. She has no idea what the fuck is going on.
Check this out. I got this in Africa. Look at this.
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny. I actually liked a lot of those scenes. Check out this mask. Look at these shrunken heads. Look at him.
He was so good.
He was good. I kind of. It was funny, but I also kind of wanted him to have a better ending. I guess
I wanted him to live.
I wanted him to live. That's why I didn't want him to blow up
again.
Because now you're dead. Like you're dead as fuck.
You had to blow him up. Shit.
If something would have blown up and you would have scarred your face and you fall into the water and it's like, well, he could just wear the mask for real next time.
Because back.
That is true. I hate when movies used to do that a lot. Like, they've been a little bit better with keeping villains alive for sequels, but like all of the old superhero type movies, everyone dies as soon as that movie's over. Right. And this kind of brought that back. It's like, oh, really? You had to kill him.
I mean, Zaz looked like he died, but not really.
That was a weird one, man.
Like Zaz, if he came back, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, that was a weird one. I'm like, oh, he's not really dead. And I'm like, oh shit, he's really dead.
But I don't need him back.
I liked him though. If he came back, I wouldn't hate it.
I liked where it was going. It was also a different route for him. And I'm like, oh, he doesn't have enough fucking scars on him. And then when he opens up his shirt, I'm like, now we're talking. Yeah. And I'm like, I just want him to get like some crazy action scene, like a moment to shine. And he never got it. So I'm like,
I think if he came back, it would
wasted.
I think if he came back, it would make sense in the sense of like now you can show that crazier side because like now like that Black Mask is dead. He's unhinged.
Yeah, the guy I was looking up to or whatever the fuck
I loved or whatever. Yeah,
I guess could do that.
He already seemed a little bit unhinged.
All right, I guess now we can start talking about the weakest link of the movie, Montoya.
God,
by far.
Is she usually a good actress? She just seemed like a terrible actress.
Yeah, as well. Is it that she was? And I know that's what they were kind of going for, but it didn't read like that. I don't think she's that good of an actress to play off because she kept doing the whole cheesy cop lines, and they were like, "Oh, you said the cheesy cop line." I'm like, did she really, or is she just talking the way she's been talking the whole movie?
Yeah. Exactly.
Like her delivery wasn't good, at all. Like they were trying to make fun of those CSI Miami type lines.
Yeah.
But wasn't
it didn't land? None of those. I think she did it.
Landed.
She did it 2 for sure. I want to say she did it 3 times, and none of them landed. And I'm like, this isn't funny.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I think for sure she's one of the weakest
I think
characters.
She's the weakest by far.
She shouldn't have been in it at all.
At all.
And then with
her plot line.
With that time, and then her being part of the Birds of Prey just doesn't make sense too in the lore thing.
It doesn't. By the end of the movie, that she's working with all these fucking villains. I'm like, she's ready to quit her job. It doesn't.
Mm-hmm. That was weird.
None of it made sense to me.
And Black Canary could have been good, but I don't know.
She was okay.
It was just weird.
Pretty, so I liked her.
It just felt so rushed and just put together. Like, especially when they were hinting at that she had the powers. Like, Montoya's like, oh, use the power like your mother. And then you're like, oh, okay.
Does she have the power? Does she not have the power?
Yeah, and then at the end, when they're in danger, she's like, come on, use it. And I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know. It just didn't feel cool. And it should have been a better moment for her to use her powers.
For sure.
Wasted. The only one that had potential and then essentially was wasted was Huntress.
Yeah. I liked her as Huntress though.
I like it. Was it who am I? Who are you? I'm the Was it boat killer?
No, yeah.
The crossbow killer?
The crossbow killer. Crossbow killer. The crossbow killer. Huntress.
Nah, she was pretty good.
Yeah, if they would have introduced that a little more like earlier, I felt like it would have been funnier. It just felt so out of place all of a sudden. Like they're setting her up as like a badass, like here and there, and then suddenly it's that mirror scene that's funny, and I'm like, oh, this is a little weird, a little awkward, and then I'm like,
If they had less Montoya, more Huntress.
and more, and give Canary a better plot line. I didn't think Canary's arc was any good. It's just kind of like, oh, I don't give a shit about anyone. I let people get killed. Like she lets an entire family get killed in the very beginning. When they're cutting off the faces of the Asian family, she doesn't give a fuck, and then suddenly it's like, whoa, I draw the line here, and it's like, really? I mean, you just let an entire family die, and you didn't give a fuck. But I don't know, her arc didn't make sense to me at all. So again, Huntress is the only one that had potential, and nada.
Wasted.
And I was excited for them. I was excited for the Birds of Prey. I'm like, man, if this is successful, like they could actually do something. But no, it wasn't.
And it looks like box office wise, not successful.
Not at all.
What are we looking at? In terms of,
The
in terms
DC,
of,
DC's
money?
on life support, man.
Fuck. These movies are gonna stop at some point.
Yeah, I mean they already kind of.
Slow down.
Yeah, let's
So
see.
is that the only DC movie this year? They usually have like one a year now, right?
Yeah, like 1 a year.
Damn, Marvel is cranking out like three
Three a
or four.
Damn, dude, they earned 19.8 million over the holiday weekend.
How much is that right now?
62 million in 11 days of release.
Damn, that's bad.
62 million total.
How
It has to be more.
old is this article? This article's 3 days old.
Look at Wiki. See where Wiki's at. Go Wikipedia.
The Wiki's a good one. Yeah, let's do Wiki.
I would have
'Cause I
thought
think
they would have
I
done
think-
more.
I think
Like,
the budget's 80 million.
I mean, so it's not a hardcore. Yeah, here we go. So yes,
should've
you're right. Budget is between 82 to 100 million, and box office is 152 million. That's considered a flop
That's
in I.
definitely a flop.
Yeah.
Yes, technically they made their money, but I don't think they include marketing into the
I don't
budget.
think they like
No,
marketing
yeah,
and
they're gonna-
promotion.
they're
I
gonna
don't
lose
think.
money
They,
on it, yeah.
Yeah, so they're losing money on it. It's not as big a flop, which thank God it wasn't, because it didn't make sense to me of how it made so little money that weekend.
So do you think it's the name? Do you think it's like people going to the theater, look up, and they're like Birds of Prey? What is that?
I have no idea. It's been boggling my mind because a lot of people, of course, in the dark corners of the internet were saying, oh, because it's a female-led movie. And I'm like, no, look at Captain Marvel and look at Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that doesn't
They
make any sense.
fucking knock it out the park. It's not because it's a woman.
That's true.
And honestly,
It's
I would
it
think this
can't.
movie's better than Captain Marvel.
I think so.
You think so?
Actually, wait, no, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I
Has
didn't
a
like
better lead. I love Harley.
I didn't like Captain.
Harley is the better lead, but Captain Marvel had the better plot.
Yeah,
They had the better plot. So I do
like
agree with you. Harley's the better lead.
and the action.
Yeah. So I honestly don't understand why it flopped so bad. I knew it wasn't going to make a ton of money, but shit.
I thought at least do as well as Suicide. Maybe not as well.
No, because Suicide had Will Smith.
Exactly.
Behind it. But
Margot Robbie's becoming
yeah, she's becoming
she's
a
Harley.
name.
People fucking love Harley.
Yeah.
And this is
That blew my mind. And you know what? I thought more women than men were going to watch this movie.
yeah.
Because in Suicide Squad, it was, I think, more women than men. By a
Yeah,
little bit.
because of Harley. Like
Yeah.
Harley, like everyone dresses up as Harley now for Halloween.
Exactly. So when I saw the percentage of people that watched this movie, it was like 55, 56% men. And I'm just like, damn, not even the women cared about this movie. So it's just like very strange. It was just completely bizarre why it flopped as hard as it did. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And I'm sure everyone in the studio scratching their heads too, like, the fuck did we do wrong? Let's change the fucking name.
Because it is true. Because Harley was like
Do you
the
think
standout.
it was the name? I don't know.
Harley was a standout in the
From the get-go, but with the way the movie is, it should have just been called Harley Quinn. That's it.
Of course, but Harley Quinn was a standout of Suicide Squad. Like that's when you read reviews, that was the best part.
She's
of the
essentially
movie.
like a Wolverine for X-Men.
Yeah,
When you watch Suicide Squad, it was Harley's movie.
exactly. So then for her to have her movie made sense, but then it's weird. Like it's weird that it did flop.
It's bizarre. When I saw those numbers on Sunday night, I was like,
Well,
what?
what was the DC movie before this?
Shazam.
Oh,
Shazam.
ugh.
It was in
Damn,
March.
Shazam did well and this one didn't?
Shazam did really well.
Shazam's the worst movie I've ever seen from DC.
Yeah, Shazam. Shazam was the one
How much
before this.
and how much Shazam got?
That didn't gross $1 billion, did it? I hope not. I hope they never make it.
366 million of a budget of 100.
That's not a lot either.
It
Not a
tripled.
lot either.
Yeah, but it still tripled its money. It isn't a fuck. It is. It's not Marvel
Man,
money.
we
It's
are
not Aquaman.
Man, we are so used to like
I'm-
bigger
Yeah,
numbers.
Marvel,
We're
Marvel
used-
has a,
Aquaman 1.1 billion.
There we go.
Shit.
That's the last Aquaman and Wonder Woman are the only two
Yeah.
successful movies.
Isn't that fucking crazy that the ones that are holding up the movie franchise is Aquaman and Wonder Woman? That's fucking crazy.
Especially Aquaman. I would have never in a million years seen that
Me
coming.
neither.
Yeah. But anyways, that's the Birds of Prey. It still blows my mind. I'd like to read some articles later on of people trying to.
And the reviews are good.
The reviews were good. I'm going to tell you the Rotten Tomatoes right now. It really.
I don't know. I don't think they should have done a Birds of Prey movie. If you're gonna do like either do a Harley and
Birds
Joker
of Prey
movie,
is at 78% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is considered certified fresh. So that's
either
crazy.
do like a Harley
It's
and
even a
Joker
higher
movie
percent than
or-
Sonic, which I disagree. I like Sonic a lot more than I like Birds of Prey.
I'll wait to see Sonic. Well, no, I'm probably gonna see Sonic.
Birds of Prey got a better review than The Photograph, Orlando. FYI.
Shit.
What did the photograph get?
75. Birds of Prey got
Damn,
78.
You ain't made the cut, huh?
Photograph's a pretty good movie, man.
But yeah, I was thinking if they would have done like a Harley and cast movie, it'd be like with the villainesses,
Just villains.
the female villains.
Okay.
Like Poison. I know she's
Yes,
cool with Poison Ivy.
it should have been Gotham City Sirens.
The Sirens,
The Sirens.
Catwoman, yeah.
Yeah. Ivy, Harley, and Catwoman. If it was those three, that would have been a hit. Because you're right. Birds of Prey. Who the fuck is that?
No one knows Black Canary.
No one knows Black
we
Canary.
know who Black Canary
No one knows
is.
Huntress. Oh, so funny thing. So as I'm leaving Birds of Prey, as I'm leaving the movie and I'm heading to my car, I see these bunch of girls that leave the movie and they all get into the corner. And I guess the one girl in the group is the one that actually reads comics. And she's like, oh, it's so weird that they changed Huntress's storyline. And I'm like, let me hang back for a minute. I'm curious. And then she goes, so Huntress is Batman and Catwoman's daughter. And everyone's like, oh. And I'm like, you're kind of right. And you're kind of wrong. You were right back in the 80s. But now,
that was a long time ago.
that was a long time ago.
That was like Earth 200s now.
Yeah. It was during like the Crisis on Infinite Earths in the
Yeah.
80s. So originally it was like an Elseworld story of what if Catwoman and Batman had a daughter and then she becomes Huntress. So, and then they somehow...
They also show she read comics.
Yeah,
at some point in
exactly.
life.
So I was like, good for you. You actually know that one. Good job. Drop that knowledge.
That's yeah. But
It's funny because I had totally forgotten about that. Because now when I see Huntress, I just think of the crime family daughter. So when she
Yeah.
said that, I'm like, fuck, you're absolutely right. I forgot about that. So she kind of reminded me
yeah, because she's been the crime family daughter for forever.
since the 90s. Yeah.
But it's just weird to me that they would do a movie on these random ass characters.
Yeah. It should have definitely been Catwoman and Ivy.
That would definitely sell out a movie. Women would love to. That's like
But-
that could be a definite female empowerment movie.
Do you think it was off limits because Catwoman's going to be in the Batman with
DC is
Zoe?
really weird with their characters.
With Zoe?
They don't let people do too much.
Yeah, it's so weird. So maybe that's what happened. But still, an Ivy and Harley movie, that's the main duo.
All right, you don't have to have Catwoman. Yeah, put Ivy in there.
Yeah.
I can't think of any of the other.
Maybe they were thinking a low budget. They were like, oh, Ivy probably be too much budget with all the CG
That's true.
of the plants. Maybe they thought that, and they're like, oh, we got to lower that budget down to 80 to 100 million, which is what it was now.
Since this is not certified.
I don't know. But either way, they clearly fucked up on something.
Either just do Harley. I would have preferred a Harley.
I don't think these low numbers are justified. I don't think so. It should have made more than what it made now. But even so,
doesn't look
still,
like that's gonna happen.
it's still a DC decent movie.
So what do you think? Do you think she gets another shot?
Absolutely.
She'll get another shot maybe in
She's
Suicide.
gonna be a Suicide Squad, right?
I don't know.
I think
She
she's
has
a
to be.
Suicide Squad.
She has to be. They can't have a Suicide.
I think
Squad
everyone else
without
is recasted but her. Look
her. Yeah,
at
who's the new Deadshot?
There is no new Deadshot. So Idris Elba is going to be Bronze Tiger.
Yeah, no Deadshot, huh?
Yeah. But Idris said Bronze Tiger. I think that's a good choice.
I'm not more no-name people. Shit.
Oh, speaking of suicide, now that we're getting to that part, I actually chuckled out loud at the scene where she goes, "Hey, I know that guy," and it was
Captain Boomerang.
because she's walking around and I see the face and I'm like, whose fucking face is that? Because it's moving so quickly. And then when she finally stops and looks, I'm like, oh, it's Captain Boomerang, which
I
to
didn't see the
me
face at first.
to me was like the best character of Suicide Squad.
Huh?
Captain Boomerang.
I'm sorry?
Captain Boomerang.
Oh, you must be. Did they do another Suicide Squad without Will Smith while I wasn't looking? They must have.
No thanks. Alrighty. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah, all right. So that includes our episode of Birds and Prey. Hope
That
you guys
includes or concludes?
whatever
That
concludes.
Birds of Prey.
Jackass. Hope you guys liked it. If you guys want, please follow us on our social media websites. We are on Facebook and on Instagram. And we'll catch you next time for another episode of Popcorn Heroes.
Bye bye.
Yeah, outro.